Make a table and graph the function f of x equals 1/2 x squared. Describe all of the possible input and output values. So whenever it says describe all of the possible input and output values for something like this, where they could probably be like an infinite amount of them, then I think more so like to infinity and stuff like that. So don't think of literally listing each one, not for something that is going to be a lot of. Whereas if they ask you a question, they say give all of them, and it's maybe like 5 or less, then that's understandable. But yes, so to get to the problem, first to make the table and the graph, I started the graph like this because all of this is like 1 in the sense of there's no plus anything. It's just this one term, I guess you could say. I have this line right here. I'm gonna make that in the middle of my graph, and it is positive and quadratic. So because it's squared, that's how I know it's quadratic, and because it's positive, it will be going up. So it should be some shape like this is how you should graph it. I didn't put any numbers yet because due to the 1/2, that does change the how wide the U shape is. So that's why I left it with no numbers for now. And then we can use the table to figure out what numbers will be where. So I'm just going to do a few of them. I'll do about 3 of them. Alright, so X input, Y output. So if we put in... Alright, I might do 4 because I like to do 0, 1, and then I'll do 2 more. And they don't have to be like specific numbers. You can input any number you want, but Y does have to match the output of that number. So when I put 0 into the function, f of 0 would make all of this 0 because 0 squared is 0 and 0 times 1/2 is 0. So that confirms what I thought, that it would be at the origin. Originally, like I told you, I thought it would be at the origin because there's no plus, but there is the point 0, 0. So we know that now. And now when we put 1 in there, f of 1, 1 squared is just 1, so 1/2. So go over, I'll say this 1, I'll say this 1/2. I probably should have zoomed in on this part, but I did make that tiny. That is on me. Okay, 1 and 1/2. Now we have 2, f of 2. 2 squared will be 4. 4 times 1/2 was just 4 over 2, which is 2. Would you look at that? 2, 2. So this is 2. We'll say this is 2. So now we have that. And for the last one, you sub in 4. Well, not sub in. Sub in. Okay, f of 4 would be 4 squared would be, times 4. Yes, 16. 16 over 2 would be 8. Did I do the last one right? I said 2 squared. 2 times 2. Yes, that's 4. And then 4 over 2, 2. Okay. I don't know, maybe it's just a coincidence that it gets to 2. But you have 4, 8. So 4 technically a little further over. Because if that's 1, 1, this should be like around 3. So 4 should really be more this way. But as you can see, I can't really do that with the way I drew it. So yes, that is what I would do if I was asked to make a table and graph the function f of x equals 1/2 x squared. Yeah. The last thing I would say, because it does say to describe all of the possible input and output values, now that we see this pattern and that it's just going to go like that way, and that way. And let me actually do one more to show you that it would still be upward on this side. I'll do a negative number. I'll say -3. Alright, -3 in there, Negative 3 squared is just 3 squared. 3 times 3 give you 9. 9 over 2 is just 9 over 2. Don't nobody feel like simplifying that. But if I did make it into a decimal, I know 8 over 2 will give you 4. So it should be like 4.5. So if this is 1/2, and this is 2, and this is 8, 4.5 would be somewhere in between here for the y part. And then negative 3 would be back here somewhere, of course. So I did that just to show that it does go up on both sides. And now that we do know that, to describe the possibles, I would say it has to be, let me look at it like the domain, right? The domain would have to equal, alright, domain is x-axis, by the way, it's only x. Yeah, negative infinity to positive infinity should be the domain, because this looks like it's going straight up, but it is moving, like it's getting smaller the distance that it's moving over by, but it's not going straight, it's still going this way, just a tiny, like this is straight, this line is still curved even right here, but because it's moving so slightly to the left and right on both of these sides, that's why it looks like it's going straight up, but it is not. So that's why the domain, we can't put a limit on it. It could be negative infinity to infinity. They didn't tell us about any holes, so that should just be fine for domain. And range would be 0, because remember it's positive, so nothing is below the y-axis. So this does not go all the way to negative infinity. It starts at 0 all the way to positive infinity, because we don't know how high that goes. Because at the same time that it's not going straight up, it is still going up. It's like going this way and this way. So it's still moving up, but just not straight up. So yes. Oh, and one last thing. I just use brackets because I just kind of write like that. But that is not correct the way I wrote it. Technically, I want to say that all of these, except for the part where the 0 is, would have been parentheses. Oh my goodness, would have been parentheses because it's open. I said xfinity. Infinity is not a definite point, so I can imagine that here, here, and here would have used parentheses instead of brackets. So yes, that's how I would answer this question. Sorry, I know I did a lot of mess ups this one, I ain't gonna lie, but yeah, hopefully it helped. Please, if you need something explained better, or if I could do anything better, or even if you want to request a problem, please let me know in the comments. And like, subscribe, share the video. Thank you.